Dropped stitches are stitches that, for one reason or another, fall off the needle and don't get worked. They're pretty common, and sometimes you're lucky enough to recognize the dropped stitch right away. Other times you don't notice it until much later. Either way, you need to fix the error because drop stitches don't look good, and they unravel when the piece is pulled or stretched. To find a dropped stitch, carefully spread out your stitches along the needle and slowly scan the rows below. The telltale sign of a dropped stitch is a horizontal strand of yarn that isn't pulled through a loop. Here's how it may look. Note the horizontal yarn that didn't get pulled through. When you find the dropped stitch, you need to secure it so that it doesn't unravel anymore. To do so, carefully work a small needle tip, a cable needle, a toothpick, or anything into it to secure it and stretch it out a bit. Continue working the row above until you reach the dropped stitch directly below. To pick up a knit stitch, the knit side of your work is facing you. Rescue the knit stitch as follows. Insert your right-hand needle into the front of the dropped stitch. Look behind the stitch. You'll see the horizontal strand of yarn that didn't get pulled through. With the right-hand needle, go under the unworked strand from the front. Both the strand and the stitch are on the right-hand needle. Insert the left-hand needle into the stitch from the back and pull it over the strand. You've just worked a dropped stitch. If the stitch has dropped more than one row, repeat this process. Once you've picked up all the dropped stitches, put the dropped stitch back on the left-hand needle and continue knitting the row. Check to see that you've made a smooth knitted V-stitch. For a purl stitch, rescue the dropped stitch like this. Using your right-hand needle, move the strand in front of the dropped stitch. Insert the right-hand needle into the dropped stitch and the yarn strand from the back. Using the left-hand needle, pull the stitch over the strand and off the needle, forming a new stitch on the right-hand needle. If the stitch has dropped more than one row, slip the dropped stitch off the right-hand needle, stabilize it with your left thumb and index finger. Using your right-hand needle, move the strand in front of the dropped stitch. Insert it into the back of the dropped stitch and strand. Insert the left-hand needle into the dropped stitch and pull it over the strand. Repeat this process. Once you've picked up all the dropped stitches, put the dropped stitch back on the left-hand needle and continue purling the row. Check your work to make sure the fixed stitches match your pattern.